Alright guys, welcome back. In this video we're going to be testing the crankshaft sensor. This style crankshaft sensor is commonly referred to as a VRS sensor, or a variable reluctance sensor. Emits an AC sine wave. It's also referred to as a floating ground style crankshaft sensor. It's an inductive type, and I'm going to show you how to test it. Got our PicoScope connected, and we're going to start by coming to the automotive tab. We're going to go to sensors, we're going to go to crankshaft, we're going to go to inductive, and then running, and you're going to want to get the one that has the word floating there in parentheses. So we're going to select that. It's going to load up our scope, it's going to preset our channels for us, and it's also going to open up a web browser. And here we're going to click on the How to Perform Test tab. It's going to show us a generic representation of this style sensor. It's going to talk about the sensor. It's going to give a host of information here, so you're going to want to come back and read through all this. A lot of critical information there. In this representation here, it shows us gaining access to the wires, either by piercing or back probing. On this particular vehicle, we're going to be using this TA012 amp breakout lead. It's a very common connector, and it's the exact connector we have on our crankshaft sensor. So I've got this hooked in line, and I've got our scope hooked to those two leads right there. You can see the crankshaft sensor right there with our TA012 connector lead in line. I've got both channel A and B probed into the wires on that connector, and I've got our ground hooked to the battery negative. So what we can do now is we'll pop back onto our scope. We've got our sample waveform. We're going to go ahead and get the scope running. It's already set up for us. So we're going to hit go. I'm going to go in and start the car up. See, our scaling is a little bit off. Let's right click here. We're going to go to auto range axes. Still a little bit out of scale. We're going to pop this up to a 10 volt signal. I'm going to go ahead and stop that. I'm going to shut the car off. We'll zoom in on this waveform here. We'll look at 360 degrees of crank rotation, and there we have it. As I mentioned, make sure you pop back on your web browser to the page that opened when you went to that test. Go down through, lots of useful information, lots of different ways it tells you, about the waveform, different types of signals that you're looking at. It gives you an example of using the math channel to look at the full amplitude of the signal, and a whole host of other information. When you go back to your scope, be sure and save your waveform. You come up here, you can click Save As. You're going to fill in all your vehicle information, whether or not you know the signal is good. So be sure to fill that out. Click the Save and Share button to share it on the Pico library. That's it, guys. That's all there is to it. Thanks for watching.